If you're a regular visitor to Covent Garden, you'll recognise this site. It's on the main piazza. But do you know what's actually behind this building? You don't? You're not alone. Most people don't know that this is a church. And in here, today, we're going to take you for a guide around St Paul's Church, here at Covent Garden. I love it that when the church is open you can just come in here and walk around, and you've got quite a mix of old and new all happening here, including this water fountain, and you've got old type street lamps here in the alleyways as well, and yet you've got this mosaic as well. And more on that in just a couple of seconds. Now, whilst you can come in here at any time that it's open, it's also worth bearing it in mind that this is an open and working church, so different times will have worships going on and also people going in there for quiet moments of thought, so just bear that in mind as you walk around the church. Getting into the churchyard is so easy. There's little alleyways as you can see here, which brings you in from Bedford Street, Henrietta Street. As you've seen, we've actually come in from Covent Garden Piazza itself, and also you've got another entrance at the back as well. And how about this? Once you get through all the alleyways and get into the churchyard, you have got so much green space here in the centre of London's West End. Now, as you can see, lots and lots of benches have been supplied, but also you can get onto the grass area that's here as well. So if you're coming down here on a sunny day, the good news is there's a supermarket just around the corner, so you can get your lunch, come, sit, have your lunch, don't forget, clear up after and leave no trace. But what a great place to have lunch right in the centre of London, where so many people miss out. Also, if you are coming up to the Covent Garden area, it's worth Googling to see what they've got on here. So just Google St Paul's Church Covent Garden, because they quite often, especially during the summer, have events on, including music, choirs, and also, believe it or not, in the summer of 2020, they've got performances of A Midsummer Night's Dream happening here in these gardens. If there are special performances happening, the church won't be open, so it is worth checking out if you're coming down specially to come and see the church. It is worth remembering that the garden was originally a graveyard, which hasn't been used since the mid-1800s, and some places, like a plaque like this, sort of just reminds you of that fact. Now, the church is known as the Actors' Church. I'm going to tell you more about that and its history in a couple of minutes, but one of the statues we're going to show you next is the statue of the Conversion of St Paul, which is sculpted by Bruce Denny and was unveiled by Dame Judi Dench. Right, as we go inside the church, you'll see there are plaques to all different actors and actresses all over the place, and it really reads as a who's who. So the church was built in 1633, and it was designed by Inigo Jones as part of the commission for the 4th Earl of Bedford in 1631 to create houses and buildings fit for the inhabitations of gentlemen and men of ability. The story has it that Lord Bedford asked Jones to design a simple church, not much better than a barn, to which the architect replied, "Then you shall have the handsomest barn in England." The church got the nickname the Actors' Church as it had a long association with the theatre community. The church's connection with the theatre began in 1663 with the establishment of the Theatre Royal at Drury Lane, and was further assured in 1723 with the opening of the Covent Garden Theatre, now the Royal Opera House. And in here, look, you have this model theatre as well. This model theatre was used in the 1920s, 100 years ago, to illustrate lectures that were given about the theatre and the working life of actors. The proceeds made from these lectures enabled the Actors' Church Union to open a hostel for actors' children to stay when their parents were on tour. In May 1662, Samuel Pepys noted in his diary the first Italian puppet play Under the Portico, The Front Doors, which was the first recorded performance of Punch and Judy, a fact commemorated by the annual Mayfair service in May. Also in the same portico was the setting for the first scene of Shaw's Pygmalion, the play that was later adapted as My Fair Lady, and it's now where the plays happen. So this is giving you a view to that building where everyone performs out the back of. But if you go round, look what's there and available for you to come and see. Have you been to the church, or did you know the church was there? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, we're here in the Covent Garden area, so I've put up a video for you in the top right hand corner of 10 great things to do here in Covent Garden.